What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again with another 5.9 featured news video, and today we're going to be giving a quick update on just new developments with the Blizzard situation. I have the IGN article, of course, and some supplemental images. We're going to go over all that, keep you up to date, but things are not looking so good for Blizzard as things continue to spiral somewhat out of control for them in a legal sense. With that being said, if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'd love to see you again on all the future uploads, keep you up to date. And as well, if you enjoy this type of video, give it a thumbs up, help spread it out. We supremely appreciate each and every one of y'all who contribute, even by just watching and spending your time here with 5.9. With that being said, I will quickly update you on the new complaints that are coming from Blizzard, mostly Blizzard employees it seems, as they've filed an NLRB lawsuit accusing the company of union busting and intimidation. Group says the company threatened outspoken employees, told them they could not discuss wages, hours, or working conditions. Now, this broke actually a couple days ago. I think other creators like Yong Ye actually made very in-depth videos covering this. There's a lot of alphabet gang government agencies involved and a lot of legalese, like legal speak, and I'm not super adept at all that, but we'll cover the important topics and how it relates to even more information that's been coming out today. So basically, employees of Activision Blizzard under the banner of ABK Workers Alliance have come together and filed this NLRB, NLRB lawsuit, basically accusing Blizzard of suppressing their ability to give open information in regards to this lawsuit, which is of course related to the sexual harassment, the frat boy style of culture, and all the other bad decisions that Blizzard's been making recently. So that basically further compounds the way it makes Blizzard look in terms of a guilty, negative stance, because it's a very bad thing in legal situations to be trying to manipulate involved parties so that your outcome becomes better. Basically, it's bad, it's coercion, it's destruction of evidence, contempt of court type behavior. It's really not good, and it can result in additional bad things happening, which is basically a very quick summary of everything this article has to say. Using coercive tactics to attempt to prevent its employees from exercising their rights to stand together and demand a more equitable, sustainable, and diverse workplace. It's their right as workers to organize for a work environment free from abuse, discrimination, harassment. This is protected federal labor law, and the complaint alleges that Activision Blizzard has threatened its employees, told them they cannot discuss wages, hours, or working conditions, maintained an overly broad social media policy, and then both engaged in surveillance and it's enforced its policy against employees who engaged in protected, concerted activity. Basically, Blizzard is committing even more big no-nos. They're attempting to save face, but it's backfiring here. And the plot thickens. As you can see, I have some image assets here on the bottom of the screen that are fairly relevant. So we have WoW is saved. Basically what's going on here, which you may have already heard of, but Blizzard is going behind the scenes and changing aspects of their game, especially noticeable with remakes, remasters, or like WoW Classic versus when it originally released. They're making all these changes to kind of put out an image that they are, self-righteous and trying to fix everything. But this too is also backfiring, because not only is it pissing off longtime fans of the franchise, but it's seen as a very shallow and hollow attempt to improve their, stance among the community. So a specific example is WoW getting patched to version 9.1.5. The following achievements were renamed. The My Sack is Gigantic achievement has been renamed to My Storage is Gigantic. Basically, My Sack, it's a play on words, it's supposed to be funny, haha, but it's in relation to the size of your inventory. You get a certain inventory size, you get this achievement. And even though Blizzard is guilty of doing all of these things that we just discussed in the article and all the previous stuff y'all have heard of, instead of focusing on fixing their internal infrastructure, they are like kind of pandering to the audience to try and look virtuous. And people are just irritated by it. They don't like it because not only is it seen as, again, shallow, hollow, and meaningless, but it's also kind of a slight towards longtime fans and people who enjoy like inside jokes, right? There's nothing that's inherently terrible about jokes like these, but you know, coming from Blizzard, who've done all this other worse stuff, that kind of compounds it and then makes them look bad. And in that sense, they should be working on doing real things to improve their image and improve their legal position instead of threatening people, surveilling people, trying to coerce the legal system to work in their favor, because this is making them look worse. Other example, Bros Before Ho-Ho-Ho's achievement has been renamed to Holiday Bromance. All right. Little stupid stuff like that. Of course, Bros Before Hoes is just, it's a funny, like, urban hip-hop culture thing that's been around for quite a while. They don't think it's, you know, relevant anymore in the 2021 era, which may or may not be true. But changing it now just to save face while doing all this other dirty stuff behind the scenes, that's what's really making them seem like they're just pandering for attention, and it's really backfiring on them. There's another example of vanilla paintings in HD, updated, desexualized in patch 1.5. So obviously the old one, you see this portrait on the wall, it's a painting in a dungeon or some instance somewhere, I would assume. And you have the chest exposed, a little bit of cleavage showing. The new one has her, you know, fully clothed up. There's another painting of a woman, you know, this one's actually fairly artistic here. A woman in lingerie has been replaced by a bowl of fruit. So again, it's not like some of these changes aren't bad by themselves. It's just that Blizzard seems to be focusing their attention on just kind of surface level artificial improvements, while also behind the scenes not really cooperating and trying to fix the root cause of the problem. You can also may have heard of them changing the name of the character McCree. I believe McCree was one of the employees that was let go for involvement in all this debauchery and all this negative behavior. And the character in-game had the name McCree. They're deciding to change it to kind of make a break from that reference. That was also widely seen by the community as just a knee-jerk, shallow, hollow reaction that it was really not essential, because the character McCree had outgrown, you know, the reference in his name. They should have just left it. It's just kind of causing more controversy than what they're trying to fix. Again, I think the best course of action for them would be to try and fix the internal problems, the root cause of all this, instead of just trying to be publicly visible making these changes. Another small one here that they made, you can see in the coding of the game, they've changed in every piece of programming code where it says blacklist, the blacklisted auras, blacklisted cooldowns, driver blacklisted, device blacklisted. It's all been changed to blocklisted. Of course, at face value, you can see that they don't want negative connotations with the word black, and I'm not personally going to dive into all that, but again, it's just being seen as a community as something that's not necessarily a priority, but them focusing on doing this is detracting from the real meaningful changes and other good stuff they could potentially doing. From my understanding, it's just kind of like a journalistic reporter type perspective. That's what's going on, and that's why people are getting so angry. Another point of contention, now I'm not a World of Warcraft player, but before all this controversy arose, apparently the game had, I guess, updated to version 9.0, and the developers took it upon themselves to basically say that all of the things the community were begging for, the community was wrong, they didn't know what they actually wanted, and Blizzard gave the community what they felt was the proper patch version 9.0 in the game with everything included. Now, after all this controversy and backlash and them suffering significant losses to their subscriber base, I think WoW is hovering right around the 1 million subscriber base now, when of course like a decade ago it used to be well over 10 million. Now that all the controversy has come out, they've come out with the World of Warcraft version 9.1.5, which has tons of content in it that apparently the community has been begging for quite some time. You can see this article is very long. I'm not a World of Warcraft player. I don't want to waste too much of y'all's time, so I'm not going to go through most of this information. Now, if you are a World of Warcraft player, you can, check out the patch notes for version 9.1.5 and see all what I'm talking about. But it also included some of these, kind of knee-jerk reactions to change stuff that might not necessarily have needed it. Again, some of it, depending on your beliefs, may needed an update. Some of it might not. But the fact that Blizzard is doing this now specifically in response to all the negative allegations is really painting them in a light where it's making them seem worse, that they're just looking at superficial, irrelevant topics instead of addressing the problems at hand, that they're causing more problems by intimidating the employees so that they, I guess, don't get as bad of a judgment in the upcoming lawsuit. I mean, obviously that's what they're trying to do, save face, but doing it through highly negative or questionable means while they're making superficial and seemingly unnecessary changes on this side. I don't know. Everything's basically kind of starting to spiral out of control for Blizzard, and nothing that they're doing is making themselves necessarily look better. Which again is very sad for me as a fan of like old Blizzard North and the Blizzard that no longer exists anymore. It's been replaced by this entity that just kind of parades themselves around acting like Blizzard. It's very sad for me. I'm very disappointed. That's probably the most and best of piece of an opinion that I can give to contribute to this video. Otherwise, I want to remain pretty neutral. But it is sad to see from a fan of the old Blizzard before all this corporate nonsense and craziness took over. We'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. What are your opinions on Blizzard? Are you keeping up with any of this information? Have you seen some of these changes that they're making to names of achievements, to art? There's even pieces from Diablo 2 showing that the Amazon has been desexualized even more, which again, that is fine, but the fact that they're doing stuff like that while not taking care of the root problems that they're dealing with is really the biggest reaction. And also changing stuff from way back in the day in the spirit of 2021 to keep up with the times, but while having committed all these other problems right here and seemingly continuing to do so. We'd love to know your thoughts on all that down below. Again, we're just trying to keep you up to date. If we find anything more about the situation as it develops or when the judgments end up coming down, we'll be sure to keep you up to date on whatever we hear. And in the meantime, like I said, comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Like the video if you're feeling like you're up for it. And until the next time, I'm Nasdorachi. I'll see you again real soon. Peace out and have a good evening. For me, day if it's day for you. Talk to you later.